but I don't see anything inherently wrong with presenting a Superman who's struggling with how the people he strives to safeguard perceive him. A Superman seeking the good in people, even if they won't
Who did he seek the good in?
see the good in him, at least until it's too late. We can hate those changes if we want to, but I don't think we should reject the idea of change altogether. Superheroes are our modern deities. Comic books are...
Why didn't Superman once just go on for a newscast and just go, "Hey guys, I'm not a god or anything. I'm just a dude trying to save people. I don't need all these statues or anything. I don't need people wearing my shirt with my symbol on it. I'm just trying to help people. I don't expect anything from you guys. I don't want anything from you guys. Just try to be better. Don't do crimes." But we never got any of that. That would have helped his character a whole lot.
Before Bats v Supes came out, there was a tie-in comic. And I said this on the podcast, I believe. If Bats v Supes was like this, a bunch of stuff like this, I would have loved it. It's a bunch of generals arguing on what to do with Superman. And one of them goes, "Look, let's just be thankful that Superman came." That's amazing to me. Because you could have had a Superman that wasn't Superman. And y'all would be in trouble. But they go, "Let's just thank God that Superman came." So why question it at this moment? He's saving a bunch of people. Why are we going... This was played up in actually the Powerpuff Girls. Where... it was like the Powerpuff Girls are causing all these accidents so they can save people and get the glory. And I can see if people are going, Superman's killing a bunch of people so he can swoop in and get the glory. But it's just like, is Superman causing this? What is his true intentions on what we're doing? No, he's pulling a boat.
Yeah. And then there was always this scene that you always talked about a couple times in the older podcast where there was a security guard patrolling a park or something. And
Love
Superman
it.
swoops down. He's like, "Thank God you're here, Superman. Now the park is safe." And like, "No, it's safe because we're here."
Amazing.
That's super good. Did he say anything to anybody that he saved?
No. He saved that rocket. That was a montage. He saved that boat. That was a montage.
He saved the lady who was holding up to him.
Montage. People were rubbed him. Montage. I think he might have said something in the Ultimate Cut when he brought all those people out of the building. No, I think he later down stood up and looked down and then looked around at the destruction.
We're not getting any of him checking up on it. This is a problem.
Forget, that core Superman. It's not my Superman. How is that not a problem to where he goes, at least, are you all right?
Anybody else in the building?
You know what we got? We got that with two movies one time. He's walking up about to fight, I think, Feora. Get inside. Everyone, stay back. That was it. You look at Captain America, he goes, we gotta get these civilians out of here. That's the priority. We got civilians over here. Let's cordon off that area. Let's try to contain this. Let's save the people. That's what Cap did. Supes walked up to a fight and went, "Get inside." Are you seeing the difference? He saved a boat of people and then it's just the next scene. A lady, people are rubbing him, and he's just like, Jesus
we get no personality. We get no Superman personality. He's such a blank slate. We don't know what we're supposed to feel watching this stuff. Him yelling at Bruce, "Stay down. If I wanted you dead, I would have already killed you.
If I wanted it, you'd be dead already."
Whoever you are, I don't want to have to do this. Please stay down.
He literally threatened him. Stay down. If I wanted you dead, it'd be done. Don't you see it from my point of view?
I could kill you at any second. If you continue to come up to me, you're basically committing suicide. Are you okay with this?
He could have went down on his hands and knees. Look, I'm here to talk. Lex is doing this to Lex is manipulating us. We need to work together.
What's your beef with me? Why are you fighting me?
He barely says two lines to him, and then it's just an all-out brawl. Until Martha.
Modern scriptures, and if you look back at the gods of the past, those texts, those stories, they transformed over time too. Zeus, Hades, Athena, all those figures became whatever the people who told their stories needed them to be, and we have to allow this modern mythology to do the same, to be dynamic and unexpected and even contradictory, love it or hate it.
So the story is good because it contradicts itself. Superman is good because he contradicts himself.
Because it's different. Because it's changed. Because it's evolved. Did it evolve for the better? No. But it can lead to good stuff in the future, is his argument.
Then why is the Dark Knight trilogy so heralded?
Good storytelling. Good villain.
But what's that got to do with all this stuff?
Okay villain. It can be both. It can be good on its own because it's the same, and also good because it evolved.
You don't even believe the words you're saying to me.
I'm arguing from his point.
His point is
Dude,
trash.
this is terrible. I understand. But I'm just trying to make you understand what his point is exactly.
I understand the point is just really, really bad.
Yes, it is. It 100% is.
That's how these characters stay relevant. That's how they...
Yeah, this is how he stays relevant. Look at this shot.
I want to see more of this character. I want to follow this character for the next 20 years.
I don't want that's how I roll, dude. I don't want now that we're here, so that's why the park is safe. I don't want that dude. I want this guy.
Dragon Ball is still one of the most popular anime of all time, and Goku is literally one of the most stagnant characters ever.
There was somebody on Facebook asking why do people like Vegeta over Goku. And it's like, Goku hasn't changed in a slight iota. Now, look, I don't mind if, let's do it like this. I wouldn't have hated this movie as much if the first movie had a bunch of the optimistic Superman, and this one is slowly just changing, making him more and more mournful of saving people, where it's just like I'm no longer, because these people spit in my face when I save them. So you've got the whole movie of Man of Steel, Superman doing optimistic saving, and everybody loving him, and then these Kryptonians come and Metropolis is laid to waste, and it's like Superman was part of that. Now we hate him. Now he's just getting spit in the face when he brings down a little girl's dog or something from the tree. I would have been fine if that was out of two movies, this is the Superman I've gotten through two movies.
Or people like throwing their babies out of windows just for a chance to meet them.
That would have been horrible.
Just like, why? And then they just start rubbing on them. It's just like, is this what the people see me as? Something like that. Because look at that dude. He doesn't look really happy to see Superman. It's just like, this is a thing that I just need to do. If we had gotten more, because the Justice League did a lot for Superman. Even that beginning scene where he's just like, hey kid, can I interview Superman? Of course you can, kid. That did a lot just right there. Because that showed at least a little bit of personality, even though his mouth was just like a jib jab.
Like silly putty.
But it still did a lot. That did more than two whole movies. Him just stopping to talk to a couple kids, answering their dumb kid questions. As opposed to this, him just going, looking away from people.
Here, atop this new Olympus.
Imagine him taking a bunch of selfies with them or something.
I'm sure you knew this was coming, but I gotta talk about the ever-aggravating, exceedingly eccentric puppet master of BVS, Lex Luthor, the non-believer. Back when BVS was first released, Jesse Eisenberg's take on the beloved Superman arch-nemesis was received poorly, just to downplay it a bit. Between the fast-talking kookiness and all those unhinged diatribes, Jesse's Lex was dismissed as a miscast deadweight distraction from the Titanic throwdown at the center of the film, just a wannabe Joker knockoff that wandered his way onto the wrong set and got left in the movie. And as I'm sure you've come to expect by now, that's not how I see this version of Lex at all, at least not anymore. Let me make one thing very clear.
So, when he watched that movie the first 2 times, was he just like not really thinking about things? And then when he went to analyze it, now he's thinking too deeply into it?
He had to watch 300 to understand Lex.
I think Jesse Eisenberg was miscast at all. Quite the opposite, actually. You see, Lex Luthor is more than the sum of a bald head and extreme intellect, and depending on who you ask, a daunting demeanor. Lex's prime factor, at least in his conflicts with Superman, is power, and how the existence of Superman is a threat to that power, and by extension, his insanely overblown ego.
He said Lex is more than a bald head, but that's part of his look. And he said that in order to make the character, you need to look.
Yeah, but he gets the look later, so who cares?
Just like everything
But
else
he's
in
more than the look.
Zack's DC movies, what's the point of doing this character one of the same ways we've seen him done before when the mythology can be...
Okay, so the Smallville Lex is not like the 78 Lex, so you can stop that right now. Shoot! BVS Lex is closer to 78 Lex than Smallville Lex. 78 Lex was very just like gangster real estate dude. Just like, what are you, chowder head slap? Like, that's what he was, so this is closer to that other one.
He got a couple of the traits though, and that what makes him Lex Luthor.
What's the traits?
Power. He's power hungry. He's not really power hungry. He just wants revenge against those with power.
Be played
so
with.
He can have more power?
Or when the mythology can be played with. Would the most popularized traditional comic take on Lex work here? Yeah, probably, but I don't think that's quite as interesting as an insecure millennial misanthrope with zero empathy that inherited daddy's company and all the wealth that came with it. The reason Jesse Eisenberg was right for this version of the character is for the same reason he was perfect for that version of Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network. This is a dude who's obsessed with being the smartest person in the room, and he'll talk incessantly in "look how smart and knowledgeable I am" riddles just to make sure you can only get a word in.
Like this dude in this video, LoverBoyMedia, going this movie was obscure, and then moving on.
Jim Carrey did very much the same thing with Dr. Robotnik.
And it was so good.
It was good. And that is not how Robotnik acts. But nobody went, the portrayal of him is not like Robotnik. Because it was wrapped around a fairly good movie. People didn't have to deep dive. Portrayal. It was enjoyable. Why would I enjoy this? Like, I enjoyed like 3 scenes with this Lex. I really like the Jolly Rancher scene. I don't care what anybody says. You could fight me on that any day of the week. That. I love the Jolly Rancher.
He's like
scene.
Asserting his power over him. No, that's good.
I like him talking to the senator before the piss jar stuff when they're in the room together. Mm-hmm. Minus the red capes are coming thing. Other than that, I like that speech. I like that conversation. And maybe one other thing thrown in there. So, I'll tell you what it is. When he like puts his hand around Soup's head, I love that. After he rains down them pictures, here you go, you piece of God, bow at my feet. Here go your pictures, and he just like lovingly puts his hand around Soups without ever touching him. Oh, I love those scenes. That's about it with Lex.
It needs to change and evolve. How did Batman change and evolve? Well, he kills people, and that's all that matters. That's the
you
only
to.
change that he
It's a
went through.
three-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds.
Yes, Scott Evil, we get it. You're a genius. When we first meet him, he's Lex, man of the people, a humble figurehead shooting hoops with his employees at the Google headquarters, LexCorp, and it's all just a big wolf in sheep's clothing act. Lex might be rocking this relatable youth demeanor, but everything he's doing is calculated and measured, crazy as he might be, to make sure.
Did this guy turn up the contrast, or has this movie always been that contrasted?
I don't remember.
Because look at this scene. Look how contrasted this... Has it always been... I'm going to need to see this movie again.
No, you don't.
I'm going to have to see this scene again, I'll say that. Because that is heavily contrasted.
Everything he's doing is calculated and measured, crazy as he might be, to make sure he always gets what he wants. And the thing that he wants is what exemplifies him.
Pause. That was always in the movie. I always understood that. That does not mean it's good.
Nope.
As a truly fascinating villain to me. Superman isn't an obstacle for Lex on the way to some sinister, mystic, world-ending goal or a goddamn real estate monopoly. Superman...
Why did you show Zod? What about Lex in Smallville? Who only hated Supes because it was his best friend, and he found out that his best friend was lying to him for years. And he started hating him.
Because it doesn't go with his narrative.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Is the goal. Lex wants...
Superman is always the goal for Lex, except in 76.
Hey, look, it's your favorite scene.
I love that scene. But, yeah, Superman is always the goal. There's a comic, I bring this one up a lot, where Lex goes, I hate Superman because you're like the end of the human race. Nobody can be better than you. That's why I hate you so much. We've hit our peak if we're looking at you. Superman is always the goal. What's the difference? That is what Lex is going against.
power over a god, even if it's just for the briefest of moments. Lex's conquest is to defeat Superman and to demolish any reverence the public has for him, to expose him to the world as a false god, a lie. The people of Gotham don't have a whole lot of love for the Bat, but Superman killing their vigilante king would confirm to the world that he's the kind of authoritarian force that many skeptics believe he is. I can't say that that's the most relatable of ambitions, but that's kind of the point of villains, right? You don't need to agree or condone. You don't even need to understand him.
You do need to understand. You don't need to understand him, but you need to understand why he's doing the things he's doing.
But him just going, he's power hungry and crazy, it's not enough.
And try. Imagine what it would be like to be a person like Lex, a person with everything, to be a non-believer, and then to discover that there's a being out there with more power than wealth can buy or intellect can create, and to hold total...
Lex literally creates a being that kills him through his intellect.
No, but he only did that because he had the motivation that he was there to make him.
What?
But who kills the God Killer? What's the plan? What's the next
There's
step?
no
of that
next
plan?
step. Because Superman is it. If he kills Superman, if Doomsday kills Superman and then killed Wowo and Bats, Lex had nothing else after that. He didn't care. Super's dead.
that being, to be able to say, I defeated God, I own him, I beat the most powerful being in the known universe, and now the most powerful being is me. It's freaking wild, but I don't doubt for a second that a next-gen megalomaniac...
Okay.
He
Why
already
couldn't...
beat-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He already beat them by discovering both their identities. Go ahead.
Why couldn't this be done, but with a good character?
No, but he is a good character because he's challenging and he's evolving and he's subverting and he's different.
Ivy League prodigal son would want that. There's a sense that this cynical, bizarre, corporate kid understands the world presented in BVS better than anyone else in it, and that's why his greatest weapon isn't some giant kryptonite laser or whatever else comic book villains usually cook up. No, Lex's greatest weapon is hate. I guess it all...
Why did he show him looking at a giant block of kryptonite when going his weapon is not kryptonite?
Lex's weapon is always hate. That's why he does everything about Yeah. Do you understand Lex? Is this your
he
Lex?
Understands this Lex.
Oh, we can't understand this Superman because it's not our Superman, so you just gotta accept this Superman. But Lex's thing and blah blah blah. Shut up. This is the traits of Lex. So if you want to wrap it around this character, that's fine. Because at least he still exhibits the traits of Lex. That's not Superman.
It's a Superman. Look, he's wearing blue and red.
Comes down to Lex's doomsday silver bullet in the end, but that was just the contingency plan, a kill what you can't control kind of thing. No, the entire point of the Africa sequence, the Capitol hearings, the bombing, all of those exceedingly complicated machinations are orchestrated by Lex, because if he can make people fear Superman, he can make people hate Superman, just the same as he does.
Yeah,
and
no,
you know
we understood
what?
that.
It worked.
Yep, we
That's
understood
how
that
it
perfectly.
starts. The fever.
Like you
the
said,
rage,
why couldn't that be
feeling
around
of
a good character?
powerlessness that turns.
So Batman, the world's greatest detective, did not understand Lex's plan. He got played by Lex.
Is he the world's greatest detective in this continuity?
What happened to all that? He's one of the greatest tactical minds and all, and he just got punked out by Lex because he stopped sending payments to some dude in a wheelchair. Is Batman not looking at the brandings and going, I'm not doing that. What's going on? Oh no, Superman's over there. Never mind. Superman.
Cruel.
Here's the hardest part for me, the part that I've spent the longest time trying to understand. It's hard seeing your heroes fall, to see them stray so far from the light. Batman has always belonged in the shadows, but this Batman, he's different. Hate is a wicked thing. It's a poison, a fever, and it corrupts even the best of us.
Batman is based on that. Hate. For criminals that shot his parents down in the alley. And he dedicates his entire life to stopping stuff like that. Based off hatred and revenge.
How is he going to argue this? What's the...
Even Batman. To be honest, hate
Even Batman
the
what?
best of us. Even they're different. Hate is a wicked thing. It's a poison, a fever, and it corrupts even the best of us. Even Batman.
Batman wasn't corrupted by that. Batman is that. Batman is hatred. Bruce Wayne was corrupted by hate by having his parents gunned down in the alley, and Batman is a being of hate and fear. Do you understand the character?
He understands a Batman.
To be honest,
That's all that
hate has
matters.
always been a fueling factor for the Caped
Oh,
Crusader.
never mind. Whoops.
Whoops.
Whoops the daisical.
whoops.
Should have just let that play for a little longer.
So what's his argument? If it's always been a part of Batman, is it just because this is way more hate than normal?
Hate has always been a fueling factor for the Caped Crusader in all incarnations of the character. You don't see your parents gunned down in front of you as a kid and not harbour some animosity towards the world for the rest of your life. You don't continue to lose those that matter to you and not be filled with at least some self-loathing and resentment. But Batman rarely, if ever, falls into outright apathy like he does in BVS.
That's bull.
Bruce's story in
That's complete bull. Why are you just bull? That's bull.
He's shown helping people in the very beginning with the all those sex workers. That's not apathetic. He's helping people.
Batman and the Killing Joke is widely believed that he snapped the Joker's neck in that one. What about Jason Todd, where he goes into such a deep depression that another Robin has to save him? Are we just not remembering these things? What about in the Dark Knight Returns, where Supes comes down and says, "Bruce, I'm here to talk," and he throws everything in the kitchen sink at him, and then literally the kitchen sink is bad for you, Supes, but everything in the kitchen sink at him to to defeat him just so he can go, I beat you. Just so Supes can go, you're the best amongst us all, Batman. What a story.
Is one of detachment and disassociation.
That's Batman. What? That's not an evolution of the character in this one. So why does every other character? Why do all the Superman characters need to evolve, and the Batman character can just be Batman?
It could just be Batman, but further down the Batman hole.
Supes and Lex. Oh, they need to change. They need to evolve.
Superman
excuse it.
Can't be higher on the optimism and hopefulness. No, he has to go lower. But Batman could just be the hatred and all that crap, and just go lower into that hole.
Pill-popping alcoholic recluse who seems to only live out the playboy billionaire side of his alter ego to go to the places and do the things a vigilante in a mask can't, but it's all to further that Batman agenda. Hi, I'm Batman and
That's
Batman.
That's Batman. Outside of the few times where he's like, I'm opening up an orphanage, that's Batman.
The degrees of separation between Bruce and Batman here are slim at best. They're one and the same.
That's Batman.
No, he's making good points here. I've never thought about this movie this way. I never thought about this Batman. He's changing my mind about this movie, and I appreciate it.
Slim at best. They're one and the same now, or at least the bat has consumed the man underneath. Batman is no longer the mask. Bruce Wayne is.
Bruce Wayne it's always been an argument. Is Batman the mask or is Bruce Wayne the mask? This has gone on for decades.
He's breaking new ground here. He's asking the real questions. Questions that us cowards are too scared to ask.
Wayne Manor lies in
ridiculous.
ruins. The Batcave is a museum filled with artifacts of Batman's past failures. Bruce is essentially living in a tomb of all the things he's lost, cut off from every...
Batman has the gun that shot his parents. And the new Batman is part of his in costume.
And we don't know that the thing that his Batcave is full of it. We just see the one thing
Maybe
in his
two?
outfit. What was the other one?
I'm just saying there might have been something in the
Yeah.
background.
So we see one thing and you're going, oh, it's full of everything of his failures.
hipster Alfred, who even then Bruce seems to ignore. The Dark Knight has made his mind up about the world, and ain't no one, not even the trusty old Wayne Butler, can say anything to change that.
How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
Not you, dude. And that's the point here. Hate is a wicked thing. It's blinding like that. Bruce has every reason to despise Superman. The brilliant flip of the Metropolis battle with Zod from Man of Steel at the start of this movie shows that. Superman's inexperience doing the whole defending the world thing led to the leveling of the Wayne financial building, killing all of Bruce's employees inside, some of whom clearly mattered a lot to him. Personal attachment aside, the Kryptonians bulldozed a staggering amount of the city. That's a lot of innocent lives lost.
That was a problem in Man of Steel. And they saw that, oh, people are seeing this as a problem. Let's impose this into the next movie. This was never the plan. And I hate them for doing that.
No shit, Batman would be pissed off. No doubt he'd see Superman as a threat to humanity that needs to be removed. No one has ever had that much power before, and that's terrifying. Batman, believe it or not, is scared. Fear makes people do some crazy shit. Fear gives way sooner or later to out and out hatred, and when you mix that into a cocktail of isolation and apathy, well, Batman becomes the bad guy.
Pause.
I think this...
Outside of the apathy, this was all clearly spelled out in the movie. All this is clear. You don't need a second rewatching. You don't need 3 years later to go back and rediscover this. You don't need to go back and watch other movies. You don't need to be told this by a dude in a video. It's all clear and obvious. Doesn't mean it's good.
was the key for me understanding BVS the way I do now. Batman is not the good guy here. By virtue of being
Obviously.
Batman, I wanted to believe he was, and of course I did. Batman is my freaking hero, but everything the film does says otherwise to me.
That is terrible.
Just look at the scene where we first see the Bat in action. It's something ripped straight out of a horror movie. Batman has always been this spectral ghost that haunts the criminals of Gotham, that strikes terror into those he hunts. Batman has always been that predator lurking in the shadows, but this goes way beyond being the boogeyman. This introduction doesn't glorify him as a vigilante hero. It makes him a demon. He's not revered here, he's reviled, and that's how I believe BVS wants me to feel about him.
We're criminals, Alfred.
Who reveres
We've always been
Batman?
criminals. Nothing's changed.
Yes, it has, sir. Everything's changed.
Hate changed Batman, fear possessed him and drove him to the point of apathetic negligence, to the point of wanting to kill Superman. I refuse to believe that at some point this Batman wasn't like...
It's not apathetic negligence. You just explained the exact reason why he wanted to kill him, and it makes sense. And they spell it out in the movie. He goes rogue. Who's stopping him? It's not apathetic negligence. Where's he getting this from?
Or is it?
What is he talking about?
He's talking about apathy. He's talking about negligence. He's talking about a man, a Batman, a demon, the boogeyman in the shadows of the Gotham Knights. He's talking about an evolution of a character. He's talking about why Zack Snyder's amazing now. And Bats v Suits is better than y'all ever thought.
Have we seen High Top Films yet?
I think they edited it.
this. I refuse to believe that once upon a time he didn't kill. Because that's the thing here, isn't it? This is a Batman that kills, a Batman who has abandoned his one rule. Can there be a Batman that kills? Without that fundamental governing principle, is Batman still Batman? For the longest time...
Yes, he is. He has the costume and the traits. And that's all he
Just
needed,
a couple
right?
of traits.
That's all he needed, right?
Just a couple of traits. Not even all of them. Just a few.
Yep, nope. This is Batman. This is a Batman.
He's got the look. He's got the costume. He's got the traits.
Yep. What more?
Me was no, and maybe it still is. Unless...
No,
Oh,
it can't be. It absolutely cannot be.
Whoops.
It absolutely cannot be no. If you're going to excuse all that that's going on with Superman and go, this is still a Superman, you got to go, this is still a Batman.
But he did say until. Oh.
Hey, it's me, Hack Top, Hack Job, High Top Films. The guy who made the video titled Batman Does Not Kill. So why am I here talking about why Batman can kill? What changed? Listen, I still 100% believe that the icon that is Batman is defined by his no killing rule. Batman absolutely, positively should not kill. It's wrong, it feels wrong, and that's the point. That's why I'm here to say that Batman can kill if the story being told is about why he shouldn't. I've done way too much thinking about a movie I vocally am not a fan of, but I guess that's kind of a testament to how thought-provoking Batman v Superman is. I may not love it, or even like it, or even kind of like it, but there is a reason we are still talking about it. And in my thinking about this movie, and particularly Batman in this movie, I've come to the assumption that Batman wasn't supposed to kill like he does in the movie, at least not originally. Hear me out on this one. If you take out all the Zack attackness in the direction of the action scenes. Like, seriously, why is the Batmobile chase even there? He could... You are left with dialogue, story beats, and a character arc that seems to point to the idea that Batman pretty much doesn't kill at all. Yet, this old and tired Bruce doesn't directly take lives, he just doesn't care if you live or die. He won't kill you, but he doesn't have to save you. Oh, and if you're really a piece of shit like this human trafficker, he'll brand your ass, and hey, it's not his problem if you get shanked in prison.
Criminals like...
Did you not watch the movie, sir? Because that's not what happens.
We're not talking about that. But the whole he doesn't have to kill you, but he doesn't have to save you. He actively rams people with his car and flips them over and things like that.
And then he threw a grenade into a doorway with the dude.
That's completely
Yeah,
different from
that's
what you're
murder.
saying. That's not what happened. He actively kills people.
Correct. So. And then, when all those people are shooting up at the Batwing, and he just shoots them all. Did he not think he was going to kill somebody there?
Pull one up.
And didn't he kill Firefly? Or whoever that was? The person that was about to burn Martha? Yep, just killed him.
And then made a joke after.
It grows in its place.
That's how far he has fallen. He used to want to save everybody, but now he thinks just letting these criminals die might be a better way of completing the mission, his mission, which has turned from a one-man war on crime to a fearful, apathetic beast.
Why is Joker alive? That Batman is in the same universe. Why is Deadshot alive?
Why is Harley Quinn alive?
He actively saved her life instead of letting her drown. He gave her mouth to mouth.
Lashing out with unlimited rage. He's fed up and he's losing what made him a hero in the first place. In fact, he's almost lost it completely, but he hasn't yet crossed that line. Not directly, at least, but he plans to. Bruce Wayne intends on murdering Superman, not saving him, not branding him and throwing him in prison to die, but straight up looking him in the eye as he drives a spear through his heart. Full-blown, first-degree murder. If Zack had managed to restrain himself with his John Wick Batman, if we didn't have those moments where Bruce pretty clearly mows people down in the Batwing or uses his Batmobile to chop this dude into dust, then the idea that Superman is his first non-collateral kill, his first real murder, is way less murky. If the idea that Batman killing is wrong, gross, and not Batman, which seems to be the original notion the writers had, then him killing actually, can't believe I'm saying this, but it might actually work in this story. It holds the story to being about a fallen hero who is driven by hate.
Are you arguing for a movie that we didn't get?
Absolutely.
Are you arguing the qualities for this movie for with a movie that we did not get? A movie that was potentially intended? Is that your argument?
Intended.
Because I got nothing for that.
When he doesn't understand out of an irrational fear, rather than being a story about a murdering psychopath adding another number to his kill streak. BVS changes from a movie where Batman murdering people is presented as the status quo to a movie where Batman branding people and being indifferent towards their deaths is a step too far. Batman v Superman becomes a movie where Batman can kill because the story and dialogue are telling us that he shouldn't. And maybe, just maybe, it still is that movie. I think Zack takes it all way too...
It's not, because you just show him killing like 7 people.
And Alfred didn't once go, Bruce, what are you doing?
You're killing people.
Nothing. Bruce isn't showing remorse. He doesn't care that he's not killing. And nobody's reprimanded for him for this. Other than us, the audience.
Maybe deep down somewhere, that message still holds true. Maybe the horror, the disgust, and the anger I feel witnessing Batman go full jigsaw on these goons is a good thing. But like I said in the original video, if this Batman hasn't killed before, at that moment when he's about to, at the moment when he's about to irreversibly redefine who he is, it hits us like a ton of bat bricks. Bruce has beat Superman, he's broken him, and now, foot on his throat, kryptonite spear held high, he's going to do it.
But this is just another kill.
Kill Martha!
This is the moment that changed BVS for me.
Oh, we're just done. I'm about to get a whole Martha scene. Oh no.
This scene was terrible.
You're
All of a sudden, all of Bruce's hate and animosity towards this man, this son, it just evaporates. All of the malice, all of the fury, all the...
He understands because he didn't see
Zack Snyder. I was
as-
thinking the same thing.
That's his argument. We're done.
Until Zack got humanized in his
Rip.
eye.
It's all
So
of
you're
them
the same as this irrational, crazy murderer by not seeing this dude as a dude.
evaporates. All of the malice, all of the fury, all the bitterness and hostility targeted at one faceless entity that Bruce didn't agree with suddenly comes into perspective for him. This is a human being, and he didn't ask for any of this. Bruce still laments what happened in Metropolis 18 months ago, but the twisted fallacy that Clark had ever acted with the intent of putting anyone in
such a great
harm's way,
scene.
let alone people Bruce personally cared about, it just vanishes.
Here's the reason I hate the Martha scene so much. Superman never calls his mother Martha.
Why would you?
He would go, "You're letting him kill Ma. You're letting him kill my mom."
Or someone important to me. Or something. But
Or he would go, Lex has my mother hostage. If you kill me, please save her.
But why would you call your mom by her first name?
I
You
would
didn't
never
save
go.
Martha. And he's going, what are you talking about? Who's Martha? I don't care. Stab. There's no logical reason why he would have said Martha other than that connection.
Clark made the choices he thought were right in the hope of saving the world, and Bruce was making him the anchor of his wrath as if Clark was the man who killed his parents all those years ago. Yikes. In that moment, with Bruce standing over Clark, Kryptonite spear set to strike, I finally understood what this movie is for me. It's a movie about hate. I saw all my anger and malice directed at a filmmaker that never asked for any of it. I saw a guy who just did what he thought was right, what made sense to him. And in that moment, I saw all that my rage had made me become. This is the moment that the
Oh my god, that was... Holy...
Dude, I legit don't even remember what I was about to say.
you serious?
I have forgotten my point.
This is the moment that the empathy
Oh, that was terrible.
That is 14 episodes. I say that's the worst thing. That I've ever visited.
Dude, I'm literally
Dude.
crying. I don't know if it's by embarrassment or laughter, but that was terrible.
We're having two separate reactions. I don't.
It's just bad.
I'm shocked.
That was so terrible. Oh, I'm crying. Oh man. Oh.
And he even went so far as to make like a green tint on his face.
Oh, it's so bad.
That's a straight ball move.
Oh, it's so
This
bad.
is straight ball.
moment I saw all that my rage had made me become. This is the moment that the empathy
Oh, it's so good.
Dude, that's
Oh, oh my god. Ah. This whole time I was thinking like a 9. That might have pushed it to the 10.
no, it's been a 10 for a while.
Oh, Oh, that was so
that
good.
makes Batman who he's supposed to be washes back over Bruce, and for that reason, it's the moment this movie hinges on. Hate turns Batman into something he's not, something he, at least as far as I'm concerned, should never be. He might be brutal
But that only applies if you don't have the multiple murders beforehand.
And it doesn't matter who he should be if he has the look, the costume, and a couple of traits. Superman should be optimistic, but it's fine that he's not in this movie because
It's not your Superman, and that's fine. It's a Superman, and appreciate the Superman you got. It's not your Lex, but appreciate the Lex you got. It's a Lex.
But no, this isn't my Batman, so I don't like it.
I didn't like it. It should have never been. And that's what makes this scene so powerful. You serious, bro? Dude, my ribs really hurt. Oh my god.
You on this bum mode with that kid.
Dude, if I could play that 50 times in a row, I would. I might just.
And why, Zack, why did you have to include this shit? But Batman isn't a cold-hearted murderer. Batman can't look a man in the eye, a man who's pleading with him to save his mother, and then lance that man through the heart. It's
Pause.
No, Batman did not know that was his mom. He just said Martha.
Why did you say that name? And then she came and said that's his mom. But again, he's fine with just doing it with a bunch of nameless, faceless thugs in a car, cutting them in half and wiring them and flipping them all over town. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But the moment those people have moms and families and stuff, but it's different here. For what reason?
And you could say, this was the moment he was leading up to kill, and it's just like he doesn't kill. But then after this scene is the warehouse scene where he kills somebody, kills two people. So what are we doing here?
harder to hate someone when you see their humanity, dehumanized and distilled.
No, you're letting him kill Martha. Save Martha. Who is that to you? Who is that person you just said? What's that got to do with his humanity? He only stopped because it was also the name of his mom.
And it doesn't make it harder to hate somebody if you see their humanity. If somebody killed one of my brothers and they're like, well, I had to kill them because I needed money to save my baby, I still hate this out of them.
Yeah, f that guy.
Yeah, f that guy.
Down to nothing more than a symbol, a token, it's easy to feel true resentment towards someone, to hate them, to wish them harm, but the moment you see them as a human being just like you, the moment you start to empathize with that human being, that's the moment that hate is defeated. This is...
Pause. Why couldn't you empathize or see this man as a human being before the moment that his daughter passed? He was the same dude. He was a director, directing stuff.
Whatever cool dude you saw in interviews and stuff, he was always that guy.
Why could you not see him as a human before this moment?
Why were you so blinded?
What is your problem that you're just like, this is just a faceless thing that I'm seeing here? This is a concept. The concept of the director behind Batman versus Superman is what I hate. Oh, he's a human with thoughts, feelings, and intentions that he wanted with this movie. Now I feel for him. Dude, what's wrong with you? Legit.
Everything to me because it changes him. Batman changes his mind. Batman
does not kill.
Do people still die after this at the hands of the Bat? Hell yeah, because Zack, bless his testosterone-fueled soul, wants to see that badass, skull-crunching explosive shit, but something has been transformed in Bruce all the same. Clark gave his life to stop Doomsday, and his sacrifice solidifies Bruce's change of heart. His final act in the movie is not branding Lex. Batman...
But he still killed people afterwards. Oh, I guess I'm not going to kill this dude because he's a human being with thoughts, feelings, and a life, but I'm still going to kill these other people? But then later, when that same human dude sacrifices himself, he doesn't cause another person to die? That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's dumb, it's muddled.
Judge, jury, and executioner no more. By the end of the movie, Bruce is no longer resigned to his self-imposed apathetic fate. Clark might be dead,
felt
but
you made
Lex
apathetic
lost. He tried to turn the world against Superman, to turn Bruce against Clark, to make everyone hate him just the same as he does. But that hate brought people together. It united them and made them stronger, made them see the value in each other as people. I don't care how blurry BVS might feel along.
Didn't the crime go up after Superman's death?
I believe so.
Justice League.
They showed a bunch of homeless people and sad people in the beginning of Justice League. But I think he's just talking about this movie.
Oh.
Way, that's worth something to me. That's worth a whole freaking.
It's worth nothing. It's just a movie. And it's not a good one.
A movie that had to open up your eyes to this is a human and I was wrong for treating this human this way. Thank you, fictional character.
Is all of that enough to say that I love Batman v Superman? Maybe. Maybe it is. I'm not saying that I'm sure any of this was intentional. I'm not saying that this is my final definitive take. I'm not saying that I don't wish almost every element of this movie was done in a way that appealed to me more, but fundamentally, I think I really do love all that this movie is, as it is, at least in the Ultimate Edition anyway. Sometimes the reasons we love a movie go beyond immaculate plotting or foolproof logic or flawless execution. Sometimes we love a movie because we read something in it that speaks to us, that resonates, something that changes.
So you don't care about the movie, you care about the underlying idea of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Not what it's doing, but what it's saying to you.
And you can do that for anything.
Absolutely. So anything can be good or you can love it.
Cats.
I love Cats. I love the music. And the dancing is really great as well. In fact, I think I might watch it after this. Or at least a couple scenes with some. I love the dancing. The dancing is great. The music is great too.
This is unironic.
I sound so fake when I say that.
Yes.
And people would assume that it was fake because it's in Cats. Who would like that? But I'm being so sincere right now.
He legitimately loves Cats, and I will never look at him the same way again.
It's fine. You'll get there one day.
It's so hard to do Revisited with a man that goes, I
I've
enjoy Cats.
I've been looking for Cats to come to Detroit for so long. Not even for so long. It's been like for a month since I turned on it. And the closest they're coming is like Ann Arbor. I'm
That's
like,
not
is it
terrible.
worth it? It's not terrible, but I so want to see that live.
I was thinking Ohio. Ann Arbor is not bad. It's like a train ride away.
I still totally want to see it live. We're not talking about Cats.
We see ourselves or the world that we live in. It's okay to change your perspective. That's what BVS, this gargantuan, unwieldy, incredibly obscure comic book movie
Obscure in what way, sir? Unwieldy in what way, sir?
Didn't Thor have to change his mindset in Thor 1?
Yes.
Why is that not lauded as an obscure thing that needs to be where you need to challenge? It's thought of as a very mediocre movie, but yet that has the exact same ending theme. So why I love Thor 1?
Taught me. I saw my hero filled with hate, a hero I've loved since I was a kid, and I saw that hero realize he was wrong and then work to rectify that.
No, he killed a couple people after that, and then he rectified.
It should have been clear to me from the start, from that opening scene that flipped what went down in Metropolis. This movie is about reframing our viewpoint. It's not just the events we're seeing, but the characters, their broader mythology, our own biases, our own processes.
How was Superman's viewpoint flipped?
Our own hate. There's more than one way to look at things, no matter how much we want to believe there's not. I thought I hated Zack Snyder. I did actually, for a really long time, but I don't anymore. I can no longer resent someone for making a movie I disagreed with. Even if I'd come out of this experiment still...
I never hated Zack.
No.
I just think he made a bad movie.
Yes.
I still don't like Bats v Soups. I still think it's a bad movie.
I think Dragon Ball is terrible. I think Bleach is terrible. I think Fairy Tail is terrible. I don't hate any of those authors. I don't see why you would hate somebody that created something
Hating
that you personally didn't agree with or like.
BVS somehow. I love this movie for reminding me that artists don't deserve our hate like that. They just don't. So yeah.
No, you had this irrational hatred for him. I don't hate artists. I don't give a
So why should I like it if I don't hate artists?
If I don't hate Snyder, why should I like this movie? Well, he did say before, it's not about changing you. It's why I love it. But you only love it because you hated it so much. You hated Zack Snyder so much, and then you go, wow, am I Batman? And you can't go, I'm not trying to change the way you view things. I'm just trying to change. I'm just trying to show you why I love it. And then you go, we shouldn't hate artists like this. We, us, are. No, you.
Feel like I can finally let go of Batman v Superman now. I feel like the years of conflict I've had over this movie can be laid to rest. It took a long time, and I'm not sure if it'll stay this way, but something about the way I see this movie has evolved and reshaped and transformed. I've changed, and now, finally, I feel like I've arrived at...
Dude, this is GT again.
Dude, all over.
Alright everyone, I can't believe it, but we actually made it. I want to start out by saying a huge thank you to all of you for watching this video. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was a 3-month process of drafting, writing, rewriting, shooting, recording, and editing to get this video here to you today, right now. So thank you so much for actually watching it. That means so much to me. I want to say a massive thank you to Alex from High Top Films, who I could not have done this video without. His involvement in the process from start to finish was absolutely invaluable. To have one of my YouTube heroes, this YouTube legend, in this video alongside me, just, it means so much to me. So thank you to Alex. Thank you, man.
Your opinion about why you love Lion King.
I appreciate it so much. And if you guys are not already watching Alex's content, go and subscribe to High Top Films. If you love the way that I talk about loving things, then you can send some love my way by liking this video.
No, I was with you. I was trying to see where you're going. You're just going like, subscribe, whatever. -10.
Yeah, it was a -10. It was that feeling. I got that feeling. And I went, yeah, I guess I can't ignore the feeling.
It was really well shot. It was roughly a good edit. Once I saw the way he was editing his thing, it was fine.
I hate the words.
I hate the words. Absolutely hated the words. That was not a good shot to end on. He looks crazy.
He looks almost exactly like Eye Patch Wolf.
Well, yeah, he has like a thinner face, and that's about it. Yeah, this was a bad video.
This was a really bad video. There was a lot of stuff that 16 minutes lead up thing.
Yeah, I was bored.
I don't know if you're trying to be a filmmaker or something, because the whole shots of you walking in and tilted cameras and screaming and all that. It's very
and the Gaussian blurs and
yeah. I don't know what you were trying to go with there. Like I said, I don't know if you're trying to be a filmmaker or whatever. But I cut it. It's too much. We don't need you fake screaming to go, he's angry. I see that he's angry, and now I connect or something. I don't understand. No, that was a bad video. The points were bad. The words, don't do the words. We don't need the words on the screen.
Ever. -10.
It was mostly it was very boring video.
Bruh, it was so boring in the beginning.
And it kind of dragged to like the 3/4 mark.
But the fun parts were really fun.
Yeah, but this was not a good video.
Nope.
These are not good points. The fact that you're just so sociopathic that you're just like, I don't see this man as a man or
I see him as a ruiner of thing I love.
based off of a movie, 2 movies that I've seen of him.
And one that I kind of liked.
You don't hate Warner Brothers. You don't hate the writers. You don't hate Ben Affleck. Nobody but him. He's the ire for your hate. Mad irrational, my dude. Mad crazy. Big -10. Welcome.
What all has been -10?
There's been a lot of -10. I think there's been more -10s than not.
Okay. I'm going through my head of the first episode was Brilliance Gonna Win. Second episode was Everything DBZ, the series that changed everything. 3 was Jinbei. Jinbei was not a 10, I don't believe. Yep, because that's when we started the -10 system. And I believe that got a -8 from us.
Yeah, because I think I was arguing that
The 0 video is not the same as the 0 video. Yes. Okay. So that was the Jinbei. We can scroll up. GT got a 10. That was a wrap. Team 4-star.
I think that was like a 7 or 8.
Yeah,
That
it was
pretty low.
really
No One Understand was a 0. I mean, it was a -10. I don't remember what.
I don't remember if no, because we were like, because he got points for Beach Boy.
Yeah,
and that was
yeah,
automatically 8.
I think I had an 8 or 9. Or
You had a 7 because you were gonna give him an 8, but you gave him a point for Beach Boy.
I think it was 8. It doesn't matter.
The Batman, no, that wasn't a -10. I feel like one of those Hunter x Hunters was a -10 for you.
They kind of blur together.
The second one was a -10 for you because I said it was going to be worse than the first. Deus Ex was not a -10. That was a -9 for me. This was a 9.5. This was a 9 for you. This was a 10 for you. You got that feeling.
And then the last one, the eye patch with Hunter x Hunter, was that double -10?
It might have been another -10. It was so long.
That move. Oh.
We spent 4 hours on that boy. So yeah, no clue what we're doing next. It's still not gonna be part 5 or Hunter x Hunter or any of those things we said it wasn't gonna be.
It's not gonna be Hunter x Hunter. It's not gonna be part 5. I think we put our eye patch wolf back on the table.
What can we do?
I don't know, but just don't forget about him.
Yeah. Well, we should probably do something fairy tale at some point.
You haven't seen all the fairy tales. That's a problem.
I've seen enough.
It's not enough.
I've seen
Because you haven't seen the worst arc. Just like with Bleach, the worst is at the very end.
I understand with Bleach. Yes, I understand that.
You don't understand.
Maybe we watch those Star Wars movies and
1,000-year blood war.
Get one of those Star Wars.
I dig it. I dig that.
Okay. Yep. So next time.